Thanks for listening to Dog Dish. Before we start, we'd like to say thanks to our sponsors. Porter's Pride is a raw, premium pet food with meats and vegetables locally sourced in the Pacific Northwest. Porter's Pride will ensure freedom from allergies, healthy weight loss, an increase in energy, and a reduction in the amount of stool produced. Find out more, check out Porter's Pride at porterspriderawdiet.com. That's porterspriderawdiet.com. And thanks to Addiction Pet Foods, they offer a complete range of cutting-edge foods that provide the most advanced hyperallergenic nutrition for dogs and cats around the world. Addiction is proud to have innovated the concept of using premium proteins such as free-range venison, salmon, kangaroo, and brushtail. Addiction Pet Foods. We go to the ends of the earth for your pets.
I'm Deborah Rosen. For the past 15 years, as founder and owner of Good Citizen Dog, I've been helping people to train their dogs using the science of canine behavior. What I'm going to do is help you create peaceful living with your dog.
Hi, I'm Dina. I'm producing Dog Dish with Deborah. I've been training dogs for over 10 years with the Good Citizen philosophy, and together we will help you create peaceful living with your dog.
Hey, Deborah.
Hey, Dina.
How are you doing today?
I'm fabulous. How are you?
Oh, I'm excellent. I'm most excellent because we're going to be talking about potty training in this podcast.
And puppies.
I love puppies, and you know, 'tis the season.
It is.
They have the most adorable commercial on television where the parents are asking the kids to ask Santa for a car.
Right.
And the kid's like, okay, only if I get a puppy.
Yeah,
and
right.
He got the puppy.
Yeah, of course. Of course. In fact, at the facility today, we have 2 golden retriever puppies, and one is 8 weeks old, and her name is Kaya, or I think it's a he. His name is Kaya. And then we have a 10 or 11-week-old one named Daisy. And I think since this is the time of puppies, we have to talk to people about potty training.
I don't want to just stop at potty training. I also want to emphasize, while we give the specifics towards potty training, the puppy classes are super importante. So please, Deborah, extol a few top reasons why a good, clean puppy class is so important.
Yeah, well, you say clean, but I know what you mean by that. People who still worry about bringing puppies to out in public because they might be they might get some kind of dread disease. They might
like
be
parvo or
exposed.
distemper.
Right, they might be exposed to something. Puppy can get parvo or distemper is by feces of a dog that has those illnesses. And so if you come to a good puppy kindergarten class, and I've been doing this for 15 years, and I have to tell you, I have never had one report of parvo or distemper. So what do you gain? You gain so many things. It's hard for me to even think about them. But the first thing you gain is a well-socialized dog, a dog that doesn't have fear of other dogs and or people. And by people, I mean people of every age and size and temperament.
Hats, no hats, tall, bearded.
Right.
These things matter.
Because we know from past podcasts that puppies, dogs don't generalize. So every new child is a different experience. Every age of child, by the way, is a different experience. A toddler is different than an infant, which is different than a 4-year-old, and certainly different than a 6 and 7-year-old.
And then a teenager's lifestyle is completely different than that, and its energy, all of this.
And these are things that don't come easily to puppies or dogs in general. And if you don't expose your dog as a puppy early enough, and they don't get to feel comfortable around these different things, they never will, or it will be much more difficult. Okay, so the other thing you get, and I'll make this really quick because we want to talk about potty training, but you get to have a puppy with sharp teeth that stops biting on you because they're getting to play bite on other puppies. How novel is that?
And the little back end to that is that other dog that it bites on gives them cues as to how hard to bite, which is one of our biggest, funnest things to teach people is acquired bite inhibition.
Right. So the puppy learns acquired bite inhibition, or how to have good ABI, which is teaching them how not to bear down or bite hard on anything. The reason puppies are given those sharp teeth, folks, is for one reason only, and that's to help them develop good ABI, good acquired bite inhibition. By play biting with each other, if someone bites down on someone else a little bit too hard, and this is play, folks, so they're not being aggressive, they're being playful puppies. If they bite down just a little bit too hard, play stops. The other puppy will say, hey, that hurts, stop it. And that will teach the other puppy not to bite down quite as hard. By the way, also, if you send your puppy, and we usually don't take them until they're about 10 weeks old, so Kai is there a little bit early for us, but we made an exception. But by the time they're 10 weeks old, if you can get them to a good puppy daycare, they will come back after a fun day of daycare, a half day of daycare, and they won't be biting on you anymore because they've had their fill.
Well, and they'll be so tired they'll be asleep.
Correct. All they want to do is cuddle. So let's talk about potty training.
Please, because this is just as important in the world of puppies as is all the other things.
Probably the number one issue people with puppies have is they want their puppies to potty in the right place at the right time.
That's right. And folks, don't forget, your young dog, 0 to 6 months, is like 0 to 5 in kids. So you've got a short window to really help instill these really incredible behaviors that'll give you a wonderful life with your dog.
The first year of their life, they age about the equivalent of a 10-year-old.
Mm-hmm.
So here's what we do. We want to take them out every couple of hours. You want to take them out after they've slept, after they've had a good chew, after they've played, certainly after they've eaten or had something to drink. You want to take them out. You want to tell them something. You want to say, go potty. I have fussy clients who say things other than that, like get busy or do your business or something like that. But we want to say something. We want to be consistent. Everybody say it the same. Okay? You want to say it in an upbeat fashion. By the way, you never want to punish a puppy if it does the wrong thing in the wrong place, especially if you don't catch them in the act. So if you do catch them in the act, you want to kind of screech their name out and hope that maybe stops them, that you can scoop them up, bring them outside, and they can finish doing what they need to do outside. And now here's the thing, folks. You don't want to interrupt them when they're going. I know you're going to get all excited because they're doing their business outside, which is what you want, but wait till they finish completely. They want to completely eliminate or go through their full cycle of elimination. At that point, you want to pull out that happy dance like nobody's business. And you want to pull out the best thing you've got in your refrigerator. And I'm not kidding. So whether it's stinky cheese, some smoked salmon, and we're not talking about a lot because you don't want to put something really unique in their systems and make their bellies upset, but you want to get through to them that what they've just done out there is the best thing ever.
And you can only do that by getting super excited. One of the things I do love, as a quick side note, with the treats, you could do a nice little dehydrated flake treat and basically squeeze a little bit in between your fingers. All they have to do is smell it and lick your hand. And that'll be a really high value, and that'll be a nice volume.
True.
Especially with tiny little bellies, tiny puppy bellies.
And what you want to do is reserve that special thing for just pottying. You don't want to give that to them for anything else. What I also like to tell people is puppies can get distracted very, very easily. All they need is a leaf blowing in front of their nose, and suddenly they've forgotten that they have to go, which is why very often what happens is you bring the puppy out, they get distracted, they go back inside, there are fewer distractions, they remember they have to go, and they go inside after you've had them out there for about an hour or 20 minutes or even 5 minutes. That feels like a half hour.
So big lesson, don't let them get distracted until they're done doing their business.
Which is why you want to take them out on a leash, Dee.
Ooh, I like that. That really helps
control. Take them out on a leash
and
take out your high-value food. Don't let them see the food because that'll distract them. Put it behind your back. Tell them in an upbeat fashion, go potty. And if they do it, like, say, within 30 seconds to a minute, they get the high-value treat once they've completed their cycle. If they stay out there and they fool around, I like to say fart around, and don't go right away, then you're going to have a lower value treat for them. Still give it to them. Don't make as big a fuss over it. You want them to know that if they go within a certain time frame, that being quickly after they're asked, that they're going to get an even higher value treat. And Dina, I don't know if you remember this or not, but what we want, and the reason we're doing different levels of treating for different amounts of time, if they go quickly, they get a higher value, is because we want puppies and ultimately adult dogs that go on command.
That's right. And some people even train them to only go in a certain area in the yard by employing
Which
that
I have
patience.
mixed feelings about, actually, but because I don't want dogs to only get trained to go in one spot. That way, some of the dogs will never go anywhere other than that one spot.
That's very true. Just speaking to how drilled down you can get your training by your consistency and by your patience.
Right.
So the biggest tip that I've really received from this podcast is to get ahead of the pottying. So if you preempt the dog, and we know for about every month they are old is about how many hours they can hold it. So 3 months, maybe about 3 hours, roughly so. But get ahead of the potty. If you're always ahead of it and they never go in the house, they're not going to have any idea to go in the house. They're going to want to go outside.
Puppies and dogs behave based on their history of reinforcement, meaning whatever, that's fancy. Whatever you reward the dog for doing is what the dog is going to learn, and whatever the dog does, even by accident, just by virtue of doing it, like practicing a song on the piano, you're going to get better at it. So you want it to get really good at going outside. By the way, this is the last tip I'm going to give, and that is when you're dealing with puppies, they should have no food or water after about 7 at night. Just pick it all up and no more. And the last thing you want to do, and hopefully some of you are people who go to bed late, the last thing you do is take that puppy out and tell it to go potty. Give it a tiny little piece of something really good if they go quickly. And then they should be okay in their crate for at least 5-6 hours.
Right, absolutely. Now, remember their age. Remember that their bladder is still growing. But if you get ahead of everything, you get after they eat, after they play. If they go only whiz, but they don't do number 2, and you need to bring them back in, don't forget to take them back out for number 2 to be successful. It may take another minute or two for them to go both types of bathroom breaks.
Right, but if you do employ the high value and they start understanding that it's their job to go on command, you're going to be so happy.
Excellent. Excellent. Because we know the worst thing to do is have pottying inside the house in inappropriate places.
Yeah, awful. Well, folks, so thank you so much for tuning in. This has been Potty Training on Dog Dish with Deborah.
Thanks, Deborah.
Thanks, Dina.
For 15 years, Good Citizen Dog has been the premier destination for dog training, dog daycare, dog boarding, and grooming services. Good Citizen uses the most modern, positive, reward-based training techniques. With our 2 locations in Western Washington and across the country, Good Citizen Dog is creating peaceful living with your dog. For more information about services or for franchise information, go to goodcitizendog.com. That's citizen with a Z. Or call 855-936-3649. That's 855-936-3649.